Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 1 of our story. If you like this what if story and want to see part 2, let me know in the comments below. Before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also, check the description for more great content and my playlist. This story was posted by 𝗵𝗵𝗲 on Wattpad. Now let's start. 𝗕𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗶 Dracula, Wednesday Addams, 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 𝗵𝗃𝗍𝗂, Momo Yaoyorozu, Kyoka Jiro, Ochako Uraraka, Setsuna Tokage, Itsuka Kendo, myheroacademia, Gnagir Midnight, and Fuyumi Todoroki gathered around as Mike announced Minata's juggling skills. The girls expressed their frustration, while Izuku and Eri shared a moment of joy. In the background, Izumi Yagi, Izuku's half-sister, watched him with tears in her eyes. Izuku's life had been turned upside down due to a misdiagnosis of being quirkless, leading to years of abuse from Izumi and her friends, while his parents neglected him. After enduring 6 years of hardship, everything changed when Katsuki Bakugo's actions revealed the truth. Inko and her husband, All Might, realized their mistakes and wanted to make amends, but Izuku's biological father intervened with lawyers, threatening to expose them and ruin their hero careers. Consequently, Inko lost her parental rights, and Hisashi gained full custody. Izuku then moved to France, where he built a wonderful life with his new family. Now, he returned to Japan to attend UA and prove that he could be a hero, concealing the full extent of his quirk's power. Shoka asked Izumi if she was okay, but she expressed her longing to be near Izuku, feeling frustrated that she was kept away. Katsumi agreed, voicing her discontent with the situation. Katsuki smirked, determined to show his superiority. Shoto expressed his unease about Katsuki's demeanor. Mike called for Izuku Midoriya to take the stage, but Izuku hesitated, blaming Izumi for the pressure he felt. Eri encouraged him, and Momo and Ochako joined in, urging him to showcase his abilities. Izuku acknowledged that his secret would soon be revealed. Nizu encouraged him to show what he was made of, and Izuku prepared to share his hidden talent. As he grabbed his phone, a melody began to play, and he introduced his song, "Look at Me Now." The room fell silent, captivated by his voice. The lyrics spoke of resilience and determination, reflecting his journey and the struggles he faced. Izuku's past was a shock to many, revealing depths they had not known. He sang about overcoming obstacles and proving his worth, drawing attention from everyone, especially Izumi, who felt a mix of regret and admiration. As the song concluded, the room erupted in cheers. Mike praised Izuku's performance, and he thanked his teacher. Midnight asked if he had more songs, and the girls in the audience eagerly anticipated his next choice. Izuku decided to sing Intoxicated, hoping to convey his feelings without directly addressing anyone. The girls, including Katsumi, Shoka, and Izumi, listened intently, each hoping the song was meant for them. As the HRM listened to the song, they couldn't help but imagine Izuku singing it to them. In a room full of frozen faces, time seemed to fracture as they shared a moment. The conversation flowed around them, but it felt as if they were the only ones present. Izuku's presence felt otherworldly, and he made them feel alive, as if they were soaring high above the clouds. After the performance, Izuku smiled at the crowd, and Eri rushed toward him, showering him with praise, which made him beam with happiness. Katsuki, however, was not pleased. He felt humiliated and charged at Izuku, shouting angrily. He accused Izuku of being a waste of space and expressed his frustration in a loud outburst. The teachers were slow to react, but they noticed Izuku protectively placing Eri behind him before dashing toward Katsuki. With a swift motion, Izuku struck Katsuki in the stomach, pinning him to the ground and knocking him out. Afterward, he kicked Katsuki away and turned to Eri, asking if she was okay. Eri reassured him that she was fine, and Izuku expressed his relief. Aizawa checked on Izuku, who confirmed he was alright. Nizu then announced that Katsuki was expelled from UA and would face further consequences. Katsumi, concerned, questioned Nizu, who asked if she wanted to join Katsuki in his predicament. Izuku, sensing the tension, suggested that Eri needed some space. His friends gathered around him, with Kyoka expressing surprise at his singing talent. Izuku downplayed it, stating he didn't want to make a big deal out of it. 𝗕𝗬𝗓 praised him, and Mina chimed in, calling him amazing. Inko, Izuku's mother, interrupted as Izuku's phone rang. He asked Aizawa for permission to take the call, which was granted. Izuku answered, speaking to his father, Hisashi, who informed him that Hina's birthday was approaching and she wanted him there. Nizu appeared and encouraged Izuku to go, sensing he could use a break after the events of the night. Hisashi inquired about what had happened, but Izuku promised to explain later. Nizu allowed him to leave immediately, and Izuku hurried to pack his things, grabbing a small box he felt was important. As he left the dorms, he encountered Uncle Mirai, who was there to take him to the airport. They departed, and Izuku felt uncertain about what awaited him after he left. The next morning, Class 1A gathered for breakfast, enjoying their week off from school. Mina remarked on how much they needed the break, especially after the previous night's events. Katsumi mentioned her brother's arrest, while Ida reminded everyone it was his own fault. Denki teased Izumi, who defended herself, and Ochako expressed skepticism about her innocence. Wondering where Midoriya was, Mina suggested he might still be resting after the excitement of the previous night. Ida agreed that they should check on him. Just then, Inko and All Might entered the room, prompting Izumi to call out to her parents. Inko asked where Izuku was, and Shoka replied that he hadn't come down yet. All Might suggested they find him, but Denki warned that it might not be a good idea, recalling past incidents. Inko insisted on speaking to her son, and Katsumi agreed they should go. The class was apprehensive, and Ida decided to inform Aizawa about the situation. They rushed to stop Inko as she approached Izuku's door and knocked, calling out to him. She reassured him that Bakugo would no longer bother him and pleaded for him to respond. All Might joined in, urging Izuku to answer his mother. Using her telekinesis, Izumi opened the door, revealing an empty room. They noticed Izuku's belongings were gone, and Izumi felt a wave of panic. Inko called out for her son, expressing her concern. Mina discovered a letter addressed to Yaoyorozu, and Izumi insisted on reading it. Mina handed it over, and Momo began to read aloud. The letter explained that if they were reading it, it meant Izuku's friends or family had broken into his room and were worried about his absence. He explained that he had received a call from his father about Hina's birthday and felt it was important to be there for her. Nizu had granted him permission to leave, and he concluded by stating that any past relationships were now overdue to the recent events. Momo found it kind of sweet that Mina pointed out how Izuku's little sister wanted him there. Kyoka agreed, and Toru chimed in, mentioning how much they resembled each other. Ochako noted that Izuku looked just like his father. Izumi corrected her, stating that he wasn't his father but rather his kidnapper, emphasizing that her dad was Izuku's dad. Toru remarked that it felt like talking to a wall, while Denki pointed out Izuku's stepmother. Kirishima imagined what Izuku and Chisato would be like together, and Momo commented on how appealing she was. Denki added that she was attractive, and Mineta agreed. Ida observed how much Midoriya truly loved his mother. Izumi reiterated that she wasn't his mother. Ojiro then suggested they check out another picture, imagining Izuku and Hina together. Mina noted that it was a cute picture of Midoriya and his sister, and Toru remarked on the love she had for her brother. Ochako joked that if Eri saw it, she would be jealous. Momo playfully posed the question of who would win in a competition between the little sister and the daughter, causing everyone to giggle. Denki looked around, prompting Kyoka to ask what he was searching for. Denki speculated that Midoriya kept a secret about his singing abilities and wondered if he had a secret girlfriend from his time in France. For once, he made sense, as they realized they didn't know much about Izuku. That's when Katsumi began to look around. Shoka offered to help, and Izumi joined in. Shoka pulled a suitcase from underneath his bed, revealing a collection of CDs. Mina exclaimed that he had made more music. Nizu and Aizawa entered the room, and Nizu asked who had destroyed his door. Izumi questioned why they hadn't told them about this, to which Nizu replied that they didn't deserve to know anything about him, reminding them that they weren't part of his family. He knew this would happen and instructed them to follow him. Inko asked where they were going, and Nizu informed them that they were heading to the auditorium. He explained that Izuku had given them permission to listen to his music, anticipating their curiosity. Inko inquired when he had left, and 𝗫𝗍 revealed that he had given Izuku permission to visit his family the previous night. Izumi questioned why he hadn't said no, and Aizawa explained that they wanted him to have a break after the events of the previous day. Katsumi interjected, and 𝗫𝗍 warned them that they might not like some of his past songs. Izumi asked if there were any good ones, and 𝗫𝗍 assured them there were, but not for them. Inko and AM expressed their willingness to listen, while Katsumi claimed that all love songs were meant for her. Shoka playfully disagreed, and Izumi teased her about her dreams. 𝗫𝗍 then urged them to go, and they left, eager to learn more about Izuku's music. Class 1A arrived at the auditorium, where they saw Class 1B, the staff, Big 3, Hitoshi, Mei, Bakugo and his partner, and the Todoroki family. Katsumi greeted her parents, Mitsuki and Masasu, while Shoka called out to 𝗬𝗧, who remained silent. Natsuo remarked that he heard trash talking, prompting Rei to ask him to behave. Eri looked around, and Kota asked where Big Bro was. Mandalay echoed the question, and Ochako explained that Midoriya had left to visit his family for his little sister's upcoming birthday. Eri looked upset, on the verge of tears, but Ochako reassured her that he would return. AM tried to speak to Mirai, who coldly replied that he didn't want to talk. AM reminded him that they were supposed to have died during the Kamino Ward incident and the raid on the Yakuza, but thanks to Izuku, they were alive. Mirai dismissed him, and 𝗫𝗍 announced that they were there to showcase Midoriya's music. Mirko commented on Izuku's talent, while 𝗬𝗧 questioned if he was okay with this. Natsuo warned that he would be upset, and Shoka expressed her frustration at not being informed about it. 𝗫𝗍 clarified that Izuku had given permission for them to listen to his music, so they began. He drew names from a basket, starting with Inko, who approached the songs to find one. She selected a track titled Villains and Heroes, and played it. As the music started, they saw a younger Izuku, around 16, on stage with someone in the DJ booth. The song began with a powerful message about the struggles between good and evil, and while the boys enjoyed the rap, the girls listened intently, captivated by Izuku's voice. The lyrics spoke of facing fears and the determination to overcome obstacles, resonating deeply with the audience. As they listened, they felt a mix of pride and guilt, realizing how hard Izuku had worked and how much he had sacrificed. They wondered about the boy behind the music, feeling a newfound respect for him. Villains and heroes, only time will tell who will win and who will fail. Villains and heroes, there's no one else. Pick a side or stand alone. The determination was clear, there was no turning back. Everything would be left on the battlefield, and the attack would be relentless. No one could stop the drive that burned within. Many thought the passion came off as aggressive, but it was simply a deep commitment to the cause. It didn't matter if one had nothing to lose, the stakes were high, and bold moves were necessary. Otherwise, one would merely be a sheep, watched by the lions. Only time would reveal who would succeed. A promise was made to be the one who would seize victory. The fight would continue, leaving traces of struggle in its wake. If anyone dared to stand against this force, they would need to hope for mercy, as the determination would not waver. The resolve was strong, and the pursuit of greatness had just begun, a long-awaited battle for the world. Villains and heroes, only time will tell who will win and who will fail. Today was the day to act, to embrace change and rearrange thoughts. It was time to believe in oneself as the hero embarking on a journey. There would be good times and bad times, but that was part of the path. Everyone had a different mission, but the good would always prevail, that was a certainty. Commitment and drive would lead to the completion of any mission, igniting the fire within. These words were to be taken seriously, this was no fiction. No external substances were needed, just persistence and energy could conquer any challenge. The fight would continue against any opposition, becoming the hero in a story crafted by one's own hand. Villains and heroes, only time will tell who will win and who will fail. The music ended, and Adrian expressed his admiration for the performance. Izuku thanked him, while Kirishima praised the rap song. Shiro enthusiastically agreed, and Owais added his approval. Itsuka recognized the young performer, while 𝗵𝗂 identified him as 𝗵𝗲𝗍𝗂𝗃, the top male model in the world. Setsuna wondered how Izuku knew him, and 𝗵𝗂 explained that Adrian's father, 𝗕𝗵𝗯𝗹𝗃, and Hisashi were childhood friends. Inko was surprised to learn this, and 𝗵𝗂 continued, noting that they saw each other as brothers. Shoka claimed that Adrian was not her brother, while Mitsuki mentioned that this connection was why their contract in Paris had been cancelled. 𝗵𝗂 shared that Adrian's mother, 𝗵𝗲𝗍𝗂𝗃, was a renowned fashion designer who loved Izuku like a second son. Izumi asked if he was a good brother, and 𝗵𝗂 affirmed that Adrian had helped Izuku learn to trust and make friends, especially in believing in love again. 𝗵𝗂 then shifted the focus, picking a name for the next performance. All Might encouraged everyone to choose a good song, or face the consequences. He rummaged through the suitcase to find a fitting song for his wife or daughter. He selected Isn't She Lovely, dedicating it to Inko for Mother's Day. The group jokingly protested, but the song played, showing a 10-year-old Izuku at a Mother's Day party. He stood up to express his feelings about Chisato Midoriya, who had been more of a mother to him than his biological mother. He loved her as if she were his real mom. As the music played, Chisato expressed her affection for her son, and Izuku reciprocated, calling her the best mother in the world. Chisato affirmed this bond, while Izumi looked to 𝗵𝗂, asking if Inko had been there for Izuku when he was sick. A silence followed, and 𝗵𝗂 noted the absence during birthdays and Christmas. He pointed out that when Izuku needed a mother, Chisato had been there for him, emphasizing that Inko had lost her parental rights when Izuku was 8. Izumi hesitated, but Inko acknowledged 𝗵𝗂's words. All Might expressed his regret, and Inko reassured him it was okay. Izumi questioned her mother about her tears, prompting 𝗵𝗂 to move on and pick another name. Izumi Yagi declared her intention to show that her brother loved them more. She searched through the suitcases and found a song she believed was for her, titled Fireflies, dedicating it to her little sister. As the song played, Izuku, at his current age, was seen packing. Hina approached him, expressing her sadness at his departure. Izuku comforted her, promising he would always return. Hina worried that he wouldn't find another sister where he was going, but Izuku assured her that she was irreplaceable. He pulled her close, and they sat together at the piano, cherishing their bond. Music started playing as Izuku felt a wave of nostalgia wash over him. He couldn't help but think about how magical it would be if 10 million fireflies lit up the world as he fell asleep, filling the open air and leaving teardrops everywhere. He would stand and stare, wishing to make himself believe that planet Earth turned slowly. It was hard to admit that he would rather stay awake when he was asleep because everything was never as it seemed. As the music faded, Izuku turned to Hina, who beamed at him. He hugged her tightly, calling her adorable. Hina expressed her love for him, and Hisashi reassured her that she wouldn't ever leave with a boy. Izumi felt a surge of emotion but couldn't help but giggle along with everyone else. Mina commented on Izuku's overprotectiveness, while Tsuyu added that Hina wouldn't date anyone. Momo imagined what would happen if a boy broke his heart, and Eri pouted, calling out for her daddy. 𝗵𝗂 suggested they take a break, and everyone agreed. They all went off to do their own things. 𝗵𝗂 received a text and smiled at the sight of Izuku with Stella, along with someone in between them that made him chuckle. Izuku had just arrived at the airport in France, going through customs as the night began to settle in. He felt a rush of excitement to be back home. As he stepped outside, he spotted his dad, Hisashi, who welcomed him back warmly. His mother, Chisato, checked him for any injuries, and he felt a small figure hug his leg. It was Hina, who joyfully exclaimed how happy she was that he was back for her birthday. Izuku promised he wouldn't miss it for the world. Chisato then pointed out Stella, and Izuku was momentarily stunned by her appearance. He approached her, and as she blushed, he smiled and brought her closer. He expressed how happy he was to be home, and Stella revealed that she had something important to share. She explained that she had participated in a raid as she was becoming a hero like him and had found a little boy who was alone and without parents. Izuku realized she had adopted him. Stella introduced Kotaro, who looked up at Izuku with wide eyes. Izuku knelt down, telling Kotaro he was his papa. Kotaro called out for his mama, and Stella confirmed the connection. Izuku picked Kotaro up, calling him his champ, while Stella hugged them both tightly. Chisato mentioned the cute baby sailor outfits she had gotten for Kotaro, and Izuku jokingly expressed his disapproval, insisting he wouldn't let his son wear them. They all laughed, and Hisashi suggested it was time to go. Izuku picked up Hina as they all headed to the SUV. He and Stella settled into the back seat with Kotaro in his booster seat. Izuku placed Stella on his lap, and she hugged him tightly, missing the closeness. Kotaro played with his toys, while Chisato hoped Izuku would be happy with the surprise. Meanwhile, in Tartarus, AFO stood before Muscular and Overhaul, who both pleaded for mercy. AFO declared that they had hurt his future great-grandchildren and warned them to prepare for his wrath. After a while, they arrived home, and Izuku picked up Kotaro and Hina as they entered the house. They were greeted by Uncle Sirius, Auntie Astria, and Big Sis 𝗧𝗏. Jalal welcomed Izuku, and 𝗧𝗏 noted how he had accepted being a dad. Izuku confirmed it, and Astria expressed her happiness, while Sirius joked about wanting more grandchildren. As they sat down for dinner, Izuku shared stories about his time at UA, recounting the friends and adventures he had experienced. 𝗧𝗏 teased him about being a problem child, to which Izuku defended himself, saying it wasn't his fault that problems found him. Stella pouted, expressing her dislike for the times he got injured. Chisato asked for pictures of Eri or Koda, and Izuku happily obliged, showing them off. As they reminisced, Stella fed Kotaro, and Izuku couldn't help but feel grateful for the family they had built together. Izuku found Hisashi's constant chatter to be quite annoying. Astria agreed, noting that he was still the same way. Hisashi expressed his happiness that Izuku had won for all, saying it was because he deserved it. Izuku greeted his grandmother, Nana, and they discussed Sorahiko's training, which Izuku admitted was tough but effective. They continued to enjoy their meal, with Kotaro sitting beside Izuku. When asked what he liked, Kotaro mentioned baby chicks and Power Rangers, which made Izuku chuckle, knowing what he meant. Stella informed them that Adrian was at a photo shoot with Mariette, and Izuku felt glad for him. Papa then asked for a song, and Izuku happily responded that the song was "I'm Still Standing." He moved to the piano, sitting down to play the song. As the music filled the room, Kotaro clapped along, clearly enjoying the performance. Izuku lifted him up, and they both shared a smile. Astria suggested it was time to head home, and Stella, blushing, asked if she and Kotaro could stay and sleep with Izuku. He agreed, calling her his queen. Stella mentioned she didn't have any clothes, to which Izuku offered his. After Stella's family left, she accompanied Izuku to his room. They changed into their pajamas, with Kotaro nestled between them. They both kissed his cheek and then shared a gentle kiss with each other before settling down to sleep as a family. At UA, the visitors gathered in the auditorium, discussing Izuku's music. Kyoka asked what the girls thought, and Ochako expressed her admiration for Dekuwhatif's music. Mina agreed, while Itsuko wondered why he hadn't shared this talent with them. Setsuna speculated that he wanted to keep something special to himself. Katsumi insisted they wouldn't demand love songs from him, while Natsuo pointed out that if they knew, they would be asking for them. Shoka defended Izuku, saying he loved them. Tuya hinted at something involving Stella, and Nizu proposed a wager. He revealed that there were 3 songs about Katsumi, Shoka, and Izumi. The trio was intrigued, and Nizu explained they would listen to 4 songs, with one revealing something significant. Mitsuki Bakugo was chosen first, and when she asked for the song title, Nizu revealed it was "Love You to Death." As Mitsuki approached the suitcase, Katsumi smirked, anticipating the reveal. When Mitsuki found a picture of Izuku and a young Katsumi, she felt a surge of triumph. The music began to play, and the lyrics expressed deep emotions of heartbreak and disappointment. The picture tore in half, symbolizing the end of a relationship, as Izuku's actions led to a painful realization for Katsumi. Izuku, feeling resolute, told Katsumi that he no longer loved her, attributing the loss of his feelings to her actions and those of her brother. Katsumi dropped to the ground, tears streaming down her face as she grappled with the reality of losing Izuku's love. Nizu observed the scene, reiterating that Izuku's feelings had changed. Those 2 songs convey the message that he will not love you. Todoroki asked what the name of the song was, and Nizu replied that it was called It's Over. She moved toward the suitcase and found the song. As she played it, they saw Izuku in front of a memory album filled with pictures of him and Shouka. He took the album and tossed it into a trash can, then grabbed a lighter and burned it. The music ended, and the lyrics echoed the feelings of loss and finality. Izuku wished he could erase his memories of them. Shouka broke down in tears, while Shoto expressed his anger, vowing to make Izuku remember what was important. Shouka, overwhelmed with emotion, shouted that it was her fault and that she hated Shoto for the pain they had caused Izuku. Nizu suggested they stop and continue tomorrow, but Izumi insisted they carry on. The next person was Todoroki, who already knew the name of the song, Thank You for the Broken Heart. He found it and played it, revealing Izuku in a studio in front of a microphone, beginning to sing. The music started, and the lyrics reflected on love learned through pain. Izuku sang about the lessons he learned and the scars he carried, expressing gratitude for the broken heart that taught him how to let go and start anew. As he smiled at the camera, he continued to sing, acknowledging that without the heartbreak, he wouldn't be where he was now, filled with love. The music ended, and Izuku felt he was finally able to move on. A voice from the group expressed gladness for him, but they all wondered who the girl was. Mina pointed out that they heard a girl's voice calling Izuku. Momo asked who she was, and Tuya revealed she was his girlfriend. The group was surprised, and Natsuo explained that he and Tuya had visited Izuku in Paris 2 years ago, where they met her. Tuya expressed pride in Izuku, and Denki asked if there were any pictures of her. Natsuo mentioned he only had photos of her with Izuku, and Tuya shared them with the group. They remarked on how well the two looked together and acknowledged the courage it took for Izuku to return. Nizu then announced that the next person to share was Natsuo Todoroki, who chose the song Just the Way You Are. He played the song, showing Izuku and Stella at around 14 years old, capturing a moment of innocence and connection. Izuku called out to Stella, expressing his longing to sing her a song and asking her to remain silent until he finished. As the music began, he poured his heart into the lyrics, describing her beauty and how it made the stars seem dim in comparison. He admired her effortless charm and reassured her that she was perfect just the way she was. As he sang, he gently touched her cheek, causing her to blush, and he felt a deep affection for her. When the song ended, Izuku confessed his love for Stella and asked her to be his girlfriend, to which she happily agreed. They shared a joyful kiss, and their friends cheered for them. Meanwhile, Izumi and her friends ran away in tears, followed by their mothers. Nizu suggested they continue their activities the next day, and everyone agreed. The next chapter began with Izuku waking up to a familiar weight on his chest. He smiled, seeing Kotaro sleeping peacefully on him, and noticed Stella beside them. Moving quietly, he got up to use the restroom and change his clothes before heading downstairs to prepare breakfast for everyone. 30 minutes later, Kotaro woke Stella, who greeted him warmly. When Kotaro mentioned that his father was gone, Stella decided they should look for him. After changing into her clothes from the day before, she and Kotaro went downstairs to find Izuku setting the table for breakfast. Kotaro called out to his father, and Izuku greeted him cheerfully. Stella asked why he made breakfast, and he explained he wanted to surprise them. Their grandmother playfully scolded him for taking over her role, but she couldn't stay mad at him. As they enjoyed breakfast together, Izuku fed Stella, Kotaro, and his little sister, feeling grateful to be back with them. He suggested they do something fun that day, and Stella agreed, mentioning that Kotaro wanted to go to the zoo. Izuku decided they should go, while Hisashi took Hina shopping for a birthday dress. After breakfast, 𝗧𝗏 dropped off some clothes for Stella, and she changed into a new outfit, which Izuku complimented. They all left the house, and although Izuku saw his sports car, he opted for the SUV for safety reasons, recalling his mother's playful threats about using the fast car with Kotaro inside. On the way to the zoo, Stella hinted she had something important to tell Izuku that night, and he hoped it would be good news. After a short drive, they arrived at the zoo, where Kotaro was excited to see all the animals. They bought their tickets and entered, with Kotaro eager to see the gorillas. As they approached the gorillas, a father and son pair seemed to mimic Izuku and Kotaro's movements, drawing a crowd. The zookeepers were surprised by their interaction. The father gorilla tossed bananas to Izuku and Kotaro, prompting Stella to express her concern for their antics. They decided to head to the petting zoo next, where Kotaro picked up a chick, and Izuku and Stella captured the moment with photos to share with their family. Izuku joked about how his mother nearly had a cuteness overload, while Stella teased him about Kotaro's charm. They continued exploring the zoo until it was time for lunch, where Kotaro enjoyed a kid's meal. Stella remarked on how fun the day was, and Izuku expressed his wish for more days like this. They discussed Hina's upcoming birthday and the gifts they would give her, with Stella encouraging Izuku to think of something special. As they reminisced about their time apart, Izuku admitted it had been difficult not seeing Stella, and she reassured him that they would have more fun days together. Their bond deepened as they shared their feelings, looking forward to the adventures ahead. Izuku expressed his longing for Kotaro to inherit a copy of his quirk. Stella questioned why he felt that way, and Izuku explained that as Kotaro grew older, he would learn about his past. He worried about the dangers that could arise if they were not there to protect him. Stella reassured him about their future children, and Izuku agreed, feeling grateful for her support. Kotaro, excited about ice cream, made a request, and they all enjoyed the treat together, which brought joy to Stella. As they walked around, Izuku carried Kotaro, who was fascinated by the cute animals they encountered. When Kotaro spotted a donkey, he exclaimed in delight, which made Izuku laugh. After a while, Kotaro grew tired, and they headed home, where he fell asleep in his car seat. Upon arriving, they found Hisashi lounging on the sofa, looking quite relaxed despite his growling stomach. Chisato welcomed them back, and Hisashi quickly devoured a meal, returning to his usual self. Izuku mentioned that they were home, and Sirius revealed he had been waiting for them. Stella then shared her longing to attend UA, emphasizing that she didn't want to be far from Izuku. She made it clear that her support depended on Izuku pursuing his hero career while being present at home. Izuku was thrilled by this agreement and expressed his happiness. Stella added that they could also adopt Eri and Koda, which made Izuku feel even more love for her. They celebrated this joyful moment together. On Sunday morning, the class of 1A gathered and discussed Izuku. Kirishima remarked on Izuku's impressive skills, while Shiro agreed, noting how appealing his girlfriend was. Mineta chimed in, acknowledging Izuku's good taste, and Denki pointed out Izuku's preference for girls with certain traits. This led the other students to feel a bit self-conscious about themselves. Natsuo interjected, emphasizing that Izuku was different. He valued a person's inner qualities over their appearance. He explained how Stella had helped Izuku open his heart to love again. As the conversation continued, Fuyumi expressed her curiosity about what Izuku had prepared for them. She found a song that caught her attention, and they all listened intently as it played. The song revealed a glimpse into Izuku's past, showcasing his struggles and the emotional turmoil he faced. The atmosphere grew heavy as they witnessed the pain he had endured, but Nizu reassured everyone that Izuku had received the help he needed and was in a better place now. The class moved on, eager to hear more from their classmates, as they continued to support each other and celebrate their bonds. Shoto felt pressured by his classmates to participate in an activity. As the music started, he found himself lost in thought, reflecting on his struggles. He battled with internal conflicts, feeling distant and numb, as if he were fighting a war within himself. The scars he bore were a testament to his pain, and he wished they could speak to reveal the truth of his suffering. His friends expressed concern for him, acknowledging that healing would take time. Kirishima noted that Shoto seemed to have moved past his scars, while Mirio speculated that makeup might be hiding them. Nizu reassured them that Shoto had healed, attributing it to his unique quirk. The group then shifted their focus to the next participant, Masaru Bakugo. Masaru rummaged through a suitcase to find a song that resonated with him, eventually settling on one titled, Anxiety. As the music played, a memory surfaced of Izuku at the age of 13, sitting with a therapist. The therapist guided Izuku, asking how they could help him. Izuku expressed his need for relief from the overwhelming pressure he felt. He described the weight of his struggles, feeling defeated by his inner demons. The therapist encouraged him to channel his anger into something constructive, suggesting activities like boxing or MMA. Izuku agreed to give it a try, acknowledging the need for an outlet. Meanwhile, Night Eye and Aizawa were engaged in a light-hearted moment, while Mandalay and Midnight playfully teased Inko. Nizu observed that therapy seemed to be working, noting that everyone was still alive. Aizawa suggested they take a break, and Nizu agreed. As they stepped outside for fresh air, Masaru made a drastic decision, tossing his wedding ring into a trash can. This action upset Mitsuki, prompting her to leave in tears, with her daughter following after her. All Might attempted to inquire about Masaru's choice but was interrupted when Masaru delivered a powerful uppercut, sending him flying. In the midst of this chaos, Nizu received a notification, revealing a personal milestone in his family. The chapter concluded, setting the stage for the next part of Izuku's journey, as his friends sought ways to support him in his mental health struggles. Nizu reflected on the past and asked if anyone had changed their mind about a certain individual. Denki acknowledged that while the person's past was troubling, he was a good and friendly person, demonstrating strength despite everything he had endured. Sato affirmed their commitment to remain friends with him. Nizu encouraged them to simply continue being themselves. Ida agreed, considering the weight of the person's past. Izumi checked on Katsumi, who revealed that her parents were going to separate, seeking her thoughts on the matter. Rei noted that Mitsuki had not returned, while Inko expressed concern about her absence. Masaru suggested that they reconsider their stance, prompting a glare from Masaru. Shoka inquired about Izuku's ex, to which 𝗕𝗏 clarified that she meant his girlfriend. Shoka anticipated Izuku's return, but Fuyumi urged her to be quiet, while Natsuo warned that Izuku might leave UA if they continued to bother him. Izumi was confused by this, and Natsuo explained that Izuku had mentioned feeling overwhelmed by their attention and the recent outburst from a certain individual. Aizawa noted that Izuku was considering attending a hero school in Paris, which shocked everyone, including Eri and Koda. Nijire defended Izuku, insisting they should leave him alone, or risk destroying his dreams. Izumi felt emotional about the situation, and Inko echoed her sentiments, while Aizawa reiterated the need to respect Izuku's space. Nizu suggested they continue and picked a name from the list. Katsumi remained silent as she searched through a suitcase for a song, eventually selecting one without caring about its title and handing it to Nizu. He announced the song was called "Thank You for Hating Me" and played it, revealing Izuku standing in front of some pictures from his past. He discarded the images into a trash can and set them ablaze. As the music played, it captured the essence of Izuku's journey, reflecting on the pain he had endured and how it had ultimately made him stronger. He rose from the ashes of his past, symbolically leaving them behind. Masaru noted that Izuku had moved on, while 𝗕𝗏 remarked that their own pasts were not as fortunate. Natsuo and Fuyumi expressed relief that Izuku's troubling memories were now gone forever. Nizu prompted them to continue and selected another name. Aizawa prepared to see what the next individual had in store, rifling through the suitcases until he found a song he believed was dedicated to a brother. Inko pointed out that Izuku did not have a brother, but Izumi speculated it might be for Katsuki or Shoto. Shoto disagreed, and Aizawa played the song, which featured memories of a young Izuku with Adrian. The music captured their bond, emphasizing the strength of brotherhood and support through challenges. As the song concluded, Adrian expressed gratitude to Izuku, who affirmed their brotherly connection. Rei observed Shoto's silence, recalling the bond he once shared with Izuku, now mirrored by another. Mineta suggested they should be grateful to Izuku for bringing them together, prompting a rare agreement from Ida. Eri wondered if that made Izuku her uncle, while Koda remarked on the idea of having a model uncle as a drag. Nizu then moved on to the next person, Gran Torino, who was eager to see what Izuku had chosen. Gran Torino sifted through the suitcase until he found a song he wanted to share, noting that it featured Izuku's girlfriend. The group reacted with surprise as he announced the song was called "Every Time We Touch," and he played it, showcasing a moment between a 16-year-old Stella and Izuku on a mountaintop, gazing at the night sky. Stella brought Ikki to a special place for a reason. wanted to share a song with him, and he eagerly asked to hear it. As the music began, the lyrics expressed deep emotions about love and connection. They danced together, embracing each other warmly, lost in the moment. Their bond was evident as they shared a gentle kiss, their foreheads touching and smiles lighting up their faces. Eri watched with sparkling eyes, while Denki noted how much Stella loved Ikki. Mina agreed, and Bob playfully expressed his longing to claim Ikki for himself. Mandalay reminded him to keep his feelings in check. Kirishima wondered what Ikki was doing at that moment, and Denki humorously speculated before Jiro, annoyed, playfully interrupted him. 𝗲𝗬 decided it was not the right time to reveal certain secrets, while Aizawa pointed out 𝗲𝗬's unusually cheerful demeanor. 𝗲𝗬 dismissed it and randomly picked a name, calling out Mirio Togata. Mirio excitedly approached a suitcase, searching for a song he liked, finally selecting one titled Freaks. As he played the song, the audience saw Izuku on stage, dedicating the performance to those who felt different. The music conveyed a powerful message about acceptance and belonging, resonating with everyone present. The crowd cheered as Izuku waved and left the stage, and Mirio expressed his enjoyment of the performance. Kirishima and Kota agreed, and 𝗲𝗬 announced the end of the day's events, encouraging everyone to return the next day. As they departed, 𝗲𝗬 received a text that made him smile, and he made a secret deal with 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗁. The next chapter began with Izuku waking up to an appealing sight. Stella was there, and he jokingly remarked that he must have gone to heaven. Stella playfully called him foolish, and he mentioned his promise to take Hina to preschool. As they looked for Kotaro, who was sleeping on top of Izuku, Stella grabbed her phone to take pictures, waking Kotaro in the process. The family exchanged morning greetings, and soon Hina appeared, asking Izuku to take her to preschool. Izuku agreed, and they set off, with Hina excited about her brother taking her to school. As they arrived, Izuku noticed something troubling. 4 boys were fighting for Hina's attention, which upset him. He called out to them, asserting his protective nature as an older brother. The parents nearby chuckled at his overprotectiveness. Afterward, Izuku returned home to find Stella with Kotaro and a group of people. He shared his concerns about the boys at preschool with his dad, Hisashi, who was ready to defend Hina. Chisato, their mother, tried to calm them down, reminding them that the boys were coming for Hina's party. The family discussed how to handle the situation, with various sisters chiming in, each offering their support. Izuku appreciated their concern but felt it was his responsibility to deal with the boys himself. As they talked, Izuku caught up with Adrian, asking about his modeling career, and they shared a moment of brotherly connection. Marinette noticed that her friends were wearing her clothes, and a group of girls approached them, curious about where they had gotten their outfits. Stella suggested making sailor outfits for Kotaro, and Izuku commented on how cute they were. Adrian pointed out that Kotaro was hiding against Izuku's chest, to which Kotaro protested against wearing the sailor outfits. Izuku reassured him that he wouldn't have to wear them, stating that neither he nor Uncle Adrian would allow it. Marinette promised to make more clothes. Izuku asked how life was treating them, and Adrian admitted it was boring without him. Izuku shared that after UA, Uncle 𝗲𝗬 told him he could become a hero there. Mavis questioned his certainty, and Izuku confidently replied that he was happiest with all of them around, making it unnecessary for him to be a hero in Japan. Marin mentioned Stella's talk about Kota and Eri, wondering if he would miss them. Stella revealed that she and Ikki had decided to adopt Eri, and Adrian expressed his excitement about being an uncle again, vowing to keep boys away from her. Izuku confirmed he had a contract to ensure no boyfriends for her. Marinette was surprised by Adrian's comments about his future daughter, and Ain brought up the threats from Muscular and Overhaul. Izuku assured them that his grandpa was handling the situation. Wednesday mentioned that they would be in for a surprise, and Izuku agreed. Ain asked about UA, and Izuku said it was going well, even with the challenges. Mavis noted that despite the troublemakers, things had been somewhat pleasant. Izuku explained that whenever they annoyed him, Uncle 𝗲𝗬 allowed him to take action against them, especially against Rip-Off Zuko and the 𝗵𝗃. Nana chimed in, reminding Izuku that she would always be there for him, and he promised to help Tenko. The conversation shifted as Marin suggested they do something fun, and Wednesday agreed on something dark. Izuku then announced that he and Kotaro were going to hang out with Adrian, signaling that they had something planned. Adrian was curious about the signal and wondered if they were up to something silly. Izuku assured him it was time for something important, and Adrian realized he wanted to propose to Marinette. Izuku encouraged him, and they decided to keep it a secret from their partners. The trio set off to prepare for their proposals, while the girls speculated about what the boys might be up to. Stella expressed concern that whenever the two of them teamed up, it usually meant trouble. Marinette reassured her that they wouldn't do anything dangerous with Kotaro around. Stella reminded them of their recent trip to the zoo, where the boys had made friends with the gorillas, raising further doubts about their intentions. Mio then shifted the topic, wanting to discuss something with Stella, which turned out to be about her feelings for 𝗧𝗍𝗄. Stella confirmed she wasn't upset, knowing that 𝗧𝗍𝗄 had already made songs for her and the girls at UA. Marinette expressed concern for her friends, and Stella vowed to protect her boys from anyone who would make them cry. As the scene shifted back to the auditorium, everyone gathered to listen to Izuku. He reflected on his past, feeling sadness for the life he had left behind, but also happiness with his new family. 𝗍𝗂𝗧 began the meeting, announcing that 𝗕𝗏 had stolen Bakugo's quirk, shocking everyone. He mentioned that 𝗕𝗏 wanted to speak with someone, and despite Inko's protests, 𝗍𝗂𝗧 insisted it was necessary for information about wanted individuals. Minoru Mineta then took the stage, and Mandalay noted that Kota enjoyed his game. Eri was invited to watch a princess movie, and Mineta decided to share a song he had chosen, which raised eyebrows among the audience. As the music started, the atmosphere shifted, and the girls couldn't help but blush at the suggestive lyrics, unaware of the deeper implications behind the song. "I bet the neighbors know my name." The way she was screaming and scratching, it was clear they were aware of the excitement happening. They were likely stressed while we were enjoying our time together. The neighbors definitely knew my name. As I took the pillow, I could sense her excitement. If she bit it, they wouldn't hear a thing. We both knew what we were capable of when we were together. The music would be loud, and she would scream and shout. Her body was a challenge, and they called me the problem solver. The phone could ring all night, and they could knock, but I was sure the neighbors knew my name. While I was moving with her, they were banging on our wall, and sometimes they even knocked on our door. She would call me by different names, and when it was all said and done, I knew the neighbors would remember me. The way she reacted was intense, and I could tell she was enjoying every moment. The neighbors were likely aware of the commotion we were causing. As the music played, Izuku took the stage at the club, dressed in a sharp suit, addressing the crowd. He invited everyone to take their time, with the stars watching above. There was no place he would rather be than lost in her eyes. Underneath the chandelier, they danced together, feeling the connection between them. He expressed his admiration for her dress, suggesting they should enjoy the moment without any barriers. The atmosphere was electric as he moved gracefully, creating a captivating scene. The crowd cheered as Izuku wiped the sweat from his forehead, waving at them. The women were fanning themselves, clearly impressed. Comments flew around the room about his charisma and charm, with some jokingly expressing their admiration. As the excitement continued, 𝗍𝗂𝗧 picked the next person to take the stage. Denki rushed to the suitcase, eager to find the perfect song. He chose trumpets, and the music began to play. Izuku, without a shirt, stood next to Adrian, both ready to entertain. As the song played, Izuku sang about the symphonies he heard whenever she was near, creating a playful and lively atmosphere. The crowd was captivated, and the energy in the room was palpable. Stella and Marinette exchanged glances, blushing at the lyrics, while Izuku continued to perform with enthusiasm, drawing everyone into the moment. The excitement was infectious, and the night was filled with laughter and joy. As the music played, Adrian asked what everyone thought. Both boys were captivated by the girls, their eyes sparkling with admiration, and they exchanged thumbs up. Denki teased Midoriya, suggesting he was having an NTMT moment with Stella. Kyoka, feeling embarrassed, crossed her arms and legs, playfully jabbed Denki's ears with her jacks, calling him an idiot. 𝗍𝗂𝗧, with a knowing smile, assured them that it was a secret for now and suggested they move on. He picked a name from the list, Mina Ishido. Excited, Mina searched through the suitcase for a fun song, finally selecting one titled, Hey Daddy. As the music began, Izuku found himself in front of Stella, who looked at him with anticipation. The song played, and he moved closer, making her blush. The lyrics spoke of longing and connection, and as he leaned in, the atmosphere grew charged with excitement. Izuku's confidence shone through as he playfully tossed his shirt aside, creating a moment filled with energy and enthusiasm. 𝗕𝗏 watched proudly, feeling like a supportive big brother. The 𝗕𝗏𝗵𝗃, sensing the intensity of the moment, asked for permission to leave, which 𝗵𝘃𝗁 granted. As they exited, the boys were left wondering about the unfolding events, while the girls shared knowing smiles. After the chapter concluded, the next one was teased. It's about drive. The class returned from their break, and the 𝗕𝗏𝗵𝗃 re-entered wearing new outfits. Izumi curiously asked Nizu about his earlier comments regarding 𝗍𝗍𝗍, but everyone quickly shot her a glare. Nizu explained that Stella, aspiring to be a hero, had recently adopted a young boy whose parents had been lost. Izuku had met him, and it was clear he had taken on a fatherly role. 𝗕𝗏𝗃 chimed in, knowing Izuku's caring nature. Mina asked for a picture, and Nizu happily obliged, showing them a photo of the adorable child. The class collectively cooed, with Kota expressing a longing to pick him up and run away, while Eri referred to him as her baby brother. Inko, seeing the photo, was flooded with memories of Izuku at that age, vowing to cherish those moments forever. Nizu noted how much Izuku loved spending time with his son, prompting Natsuo to comment on how it must give Inko a headache. Shoka corrected him, insisting that Stella wasn't his sister-in-law, but Natsuo shrugged it off. Fuyumi agreed that the boy was quite cute, and 𝗕𝗏𝗃 joked about how Stella and Auntie Chisato would want to dress him in sailor outfits, much to Izuku's dismay. Nizu then picked another name, Ijiro Kirishima. Kirishima declared he would find a manly song, and Tetsutetsu eagerly supported him. The girls expressed their longing for a romantic tune as Kirishima searched for the perfect track. He finally settled on Till I Collapse, and as the music played, the scene shifted to Izuku arriving at a facility in the desert. The boys recognized the legendary Rocky Balboa, while the girls were puzzled by his fame. Kirishima explained Rocky's legacy as a boxer who faced the greatest challenges. Izuku was called over by Rocky, who handed him a hammer and instructed him to dig a deep hole in the sand. As the music intensified, Izuku swung the mallet, making an impression in the scorching sun. He faced a larger opponent, who struck him, but Izuku pushed through, embodying the spirit of perseverance. The scene depicted his determination and strength, showcasing his journey without graphic violence. With a head strap adding weight, Izuku continued to train hard, embodying the relentless pursuit of his goals, even as challenges arose. The training montage highlighted his resilience and commitment to becoming stronger, setting the stage for the next chapter in his journey. Izuku was running behind a car with weights on his back, pushing himself to the limit. He picked up a giant tire and pushed it over, showcasing his determination. With Rocky sitting on the hood, Izuku pulled the car, embodying the spirit of perseverance. He was committed to his training, pushing through the pain until he felt he could go no further. As he wrapped a cloth around his face, Izuku struck the sand with a mallet, each hit resonating with his resolve. He performed pull-ups with weights around his feet, his body straining but refusing to give in. Music filled the air, creating an atmosphere that fueled his drive. He understood that this was his moment, and he needed to seize it, knowing that opportunities like this were rare. Izuku had a list of inspirations in his mind, names that represented the pinnacle of success in his field. He felt the weight of envy that came with ambition but chose to rise above it, walking with confidence despite the challenges he faced. He was determined to prove himself, knowing that respect was earned through hard work. Rocky encouraged Izuku to run ahead while he shadowboxed over a flame, practicing his technique. He fought against an opponent, focusing on his form and strategy. The training was intense, but Izuku thrived on the challenge, pushing himself to the brink. Later, he sat down with his family, sharing a moment of warmth and support. Hina smiled at him, but they all noticed the bruises on his knuckles from his rigorous training. He winced as he submerged his hands in an ice bath, feeling the sting of his efforts. As he trained, Izuku's thoughts raced. He knew that every word he spoke and every action he took mattered. He was determined to leave a mark, to be remembered for his dedication and skill. He understood that the journey was just as important as the destination, and he was ready to face whatever came his way. With each pull-up, Izuku felt stronger, faster, and more capable. He was relentless, determined to overcome any obstacle. Victory was within his grasp, and he would not back down. He pushed through the pain hanging from the pull-up bars. Rocky encouraged him, knowing that every struggle brought him closer to his goals. As the music played, Izuku felt invincible, ready to take on the world. He was not just training. He was transforming into the hero he aspired to be. With a newfound sense of purpose, he was prepared to face any challenge that lay ahead. Kirishima and Tetsutetsu watched in awe, impressed by Izuku's progress. Koda remarked on his boxing skills, while Aizawa acknowledged the growth he had achieved. Midnight noted his impressive physique, and Itsuka inquired about his strength. Nizu encouraged them to continue, picking the next participant for their training session. Ojiro stepped up, excited to share his own journey. He found a song that resonated with him and prepared to showcase his skills. As he played the music, Izuku and Hisashi were seen in a gravity chamber, pushing their limits even further. Hisashi set the machine to 100 times Earth's gravity, and Izuku struggled to maintain his footing, embodying the essence of resilience. The training continued, each moment a testament to their dedication and the relentless pursuit of greatness. Izuku was doing push-ups, with Hisashi joining him, both enjoying their time together. Izuku smiled as he focused on his workout. He was determined to improve, knowing that success was a mix of luck, skill, willpower, pleasure, and pain. Hisashi encouraged him, reminding him that it was about being heard and making a name for himself. As Izuku donned a 𝗵𝗃𝗍𝗄𝗃, Hisashi playfully swung a plastic bat, and Izuku attempted to dodge the swings, though he stumbled and fell. Hisashi helped him up, patting his head affectionately. Izuku was determined to push through the challenges, even as he was tied up by his ankles with weights, pulling himself up with great effort. He was not one to talk much, focused on his craft and the opportunities that came his way. Despite being misjudged, he continued to hone his skills, working hard to achieve his dreams. He was now doing handstand push-ups, sweat dripping from his brow, but he pressed on, embodying the spirit of perseverance. Izuku was shadowboxing and kicking against the gravity-enhancing environment, pushing his limits further. He and Hisashi were now doing pull-ups together, both focused on their training. Hisashi was impressed by Izuku's dedication and the progress he was making. In the gravity chamber, Izuku was training alongside Adrian, both laughing as they exchanged playful hits. Izuku was determined to rise to the top, working with what he had and proving himself through hard work. He was not just another face in the crowd, he was making a name for himself. As they trained, Izuku was doing push-ups with Stella on his back, who was chatting with him, providing encouragement. Izuku was known for his relentless work ethic, writing every note and line with passion. He had a vision that drove him, and he was dedicated to his craft. After a rigorous session, Izuku turned off the gravity chamber and tossed a rock, catching it with impressive speed, though he accidentally broke it upon impact. He continued to dodge Hisashi's playful swings with the plastic bat, showcasing his agility and determination. As the training session wrapped up, the group reflected on their time together. Kirishima noted how much he enjoyed spending time with his dad, and Tetsutetsu agreed. Inko mentioned the advanced training chamber, and they decided to ask Midoriya for advice when he returned home. Nizu suggested they move on to one more song before calling it a day. Rikido Sato took his turn, searching for a good song. When he found one, he played it, and Izuku noticed Koda on the ground, bruised, with a girl crying nearby. Concerned, he rushed over to help. Mandalay asked Koda why he hadn't spoken up about his injuries, to which Koda replied that he didn't want to bother anyone. Izuku reassured him, asking if he wanted to learn how to fight. Koda agreed, and the music started. Izuku began teaching Koda how to punch, showing him the proper stance and technique. They were in it to win it, determined to push their limits. Izuku encouraged Koda to work hard, and together they skipped rope, building their confidence and strength. They were both committed to their training, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Izuku was running alongside the beach with 𝗂𝗃, who stumbled but was quickly lifted back up by Izuku. They were determined to push themselves to the limit, ready to show their strength and shine. Izuku was giving 𝗂𝗃 pointers during an exhibition boxing match, encouraging him to work harder and reach for the sky. After a workout, both Izuku and 𝗂𝗃 took a break, sitting down to drink water. 𝗂𝗃 smiled as he chatted with Izuku, who continued to motivate him. 𝗂𝗃 was running next to Izuku on the beach, pushing himself and shouting with excitement. They were both focused on their goal, ready to show everyone their dedication. In the boxing ring, 𝗂𝗃 landed a punch that sent his opponent to the ground. Izuku entered the ring, lifting 𝗂𝗃 onto his shoulders in celebration, raising his hand in triumph. The spectators cheered, delighted to see 𝗂𝗃's happiness alongside Izuku. As the match continued, Izuku noticed 𝗂𝗃's improvement in technique, feeling proud of his progress. After the match, 𝗂𝗃 had a moment with a girl who hugged him, causing him to blush when she kissed his cheek. He turned to see Izuku, who was reminded of his own childhood. Izuku gently patted 𝗂𝗃's head, appreciating the bond they shared. 𝗂𝗃, feeling shy, referred to Izuku as Dad, which surprised Izuku but made him smile. They shared a light moment, discussing the girl 𝗂𝗃 had saved and whether he had a crush on her. Mandalay and Ragdoll teased 𝗂𝗃 about his feelings, while Eri expressed her longing for Izuku's attention too. The scene shifted to Izuku waking up to find his son, Kotaro, needing help. Stella, their friend, wanted Kotaro to wear a sailor outfit, but Izuku playfully refused, promising a shopping spree instead. Kotaro was eager to help, and they decided to have breakfast together. Stella went to make chocolate chip pancakes, and Izuku dressed Kotaro in a Goku-inspired onesie, both excited for the day ahead. As they headed downstairs, they heard Stella singing, and Izuku signaled for Kotaro to be quiet so they could listen. Stella danced around the kitchen, making breakfast while Izuku and Kotaro watched, clapping for her joyful performance. The atmosphere was filled with warmth and love as they enjoyed their time together. I love you like a love song, baby. I love you like a love song, baby. I love you like a love song, baby, and I keep hitting repeat. No one compares. You stand alone to every record I own. Music to my heart. Izuku was doing handstands near the edge of a building on the rooftop, filled with excitement. He jumped up, kicked back, whipped around, and spun, repeating the exhilarating motions. He was joined by Adrian, and together they cut the heads of some bushes before removing their masks. Emily, addressing Adrian, asked him to explain their actions. Izuku, sensing the urgency, threw a smoke bomb to the ground, creating a cloud that allowed them to make their escape. Chisato and Emily turned around just in time to see them trying to sneak away, calling out for their fathers for help. 𝗂𝗃, watching the scene unfold, thought it was cool and decided to ask his dad if they could try something similar. Mandalay reminded them to keep things reasonable, to which 𝗂𝗃 agreed. 𝗕𝗏 then picked a name from the list, calling out manga Fukidashi. Excited, Fukidashi went toward the suitcases to find a good song for a special occasion. He selected a song for his parents' 12th anniversary, titled Appealing Heart. As the music began, Izuku walked toward the stage, addressing the gathering. He introduced himself as the son of Hisashi and Chisato and shared that he would soon be leaving for the entrance exams at UA. This performance was a heartfelt gift for his parents, wishing them many more years together. As the song played, Izuku reflected on the lyrics, which spoke of inner beauty and love that transcended appearances. He smiled at Stella, feeling a deep connection. The music concluded, and Izuku thanked his parents, who embraced him with pride and joy. Inko, watching from a distance, felt a pang of sadness, realizing her own feelings of regret. AM noticed her tears and asked if she was okay, to which Inko replied she was fine, wiping her eyes. Izumi wondered if their mother still had feelings for her ex-husband, while Midnight and Mike discussed the song's message about appreciating inner beauty. Nizu continued the event by picking another name, Yuga Aoyama. Aoyama confidently approached the suitcases, searching for a song that resonated with him. He chose a piece for someone special, revealing it was for Eri. As he played You'll Be in My Heart, the melody filled the room, and Izuku reminisced about how his father had sung this song to him when he was younger. Eri, feeling a bit sleepy, listened intently, while Inko explained that this song had been passed down through generations in Hisashi's family. As the performance ended, Izuku reflected on the small world they lived in, where memories intertwined. Eri claimed the song as a lullaby for her and her siblings, prompting Kyoka to apologize for suggesting it could be recorded. 𝗍𝗂 then picked another name, calling on 𝗕𝗏𝗏. 𝗕𝗏𝗏 hesitated before deciding to play a song, revealing a moment of vulnerability as he sat in his dorm, contemplating his choices. Music started playing as Izuku opened a box, feeling a rush of excitement. He decided that the next time he saw Stella, he would propose. He thanked his father for the appealing ring, which had been passed down from his grandmother. Eri admired the ring, and Midnight remarked on the romance of using a family heirloom. As Izumi and her friends ran off, tears in their eyes, their mothers chased after them. 𝗍𝗂 suggested a break, and everyone agreed. Izuku held Kotaro in his arms as they entered the mall. Kotaro clung tightly to his father, feeling a bit nervous. Izuku reassured him, reminding him that he was strong like his dad. Stella suggested they find a present for Hina, and they all agreed to head to the toy store. As they arrived at the store, Izuku and Kotaro found a spot to sit while Stella browsed for clothes. Other fathers were there with their sons, and they exchanged small talk about their experiences. Time passed, and after a while, they found themselves sipping water and eventually dozing off in the chairs. Stella gently tapped Izuku to wake him up, and he groggily asked what time it was. She informed him that they had been in the store for 4 hours, and she had used his card to buy clothes for Hina and Eri. Izuku was surprised but accepted it, realizing he had been a heavy sleeper. Once Stella was done shopping, they decided it was time for Izuku and Kotaro to find a present for Hina. Kotaro woke up, his stomach growling, prompting Izuku to suggest they grab something to eat first. They headed to the cafeteria, enjoying a meal together. Stella brought up the songs from the 𝗕𝗏𝗏, wondering if their friends had heard them. Izuku doubted it but acknowledged Stella's feelings about sharing him. She expressed her confidence in being the first to marry him and have their 4th child. Izuku agreed, and they discussed the possibility of giving their friends a chance to understand their relationship. Stella was curious about how Eri and Koto would feel about her, and Izuku reassured her that they would love her. They talked about their children, their likes and dislikes, and even made a pact that their daughters wouldn't date until they turned 16. After finishing their meal, they made their way to the toy store. Stella pointed out a place she needed to visit, making Izuku blush. He and Kotaro wandered through the aisles, and Kotaro found a perfect gift for Hina. Izuku also spotted something for Kotaro and suggested they show it to Stella. They bought a plushie and an outfit for Kotaro, and then Izuku took him to the bathroom to change. As they stepped outside, they noticed a pet store nearby. Izuku had an idea and went inside, where they were greeted by playful kittens. He found one that he liked and arranged for it to be delivered the next day. When they exited the store, they spotted Stella with a bag from Victoria's Secret. Izuku playfully announced that a big tiger had escaped, and Kotaro joined in with a cute roar, drawing smiles from the crowd. Stella pretended to be scared, and Kotaro beamed with pride at their little performance. They finished their shopping and returned to the car. As they drove home, Izuku glanced at Kotaro, who had fallen asleep, and then looked at Stella. He expressed how much he enjoyed moments like this, and she agreed, knowing they would have many more in the future. Upon arriving home, they were greeted by Izuku's parents and his grandmother, who were curious about where they had been. Izuku was busy preparing Hina's presents for her birthday party the next day. Chisato expressed her approval, and Hisashi nodded in agreement. Hina excitedly mentioned how she couldn't wait for Izuku to meet her friends, Michael, Tony, Alejandro, and Gerald. Hisashi and Chisato joked about keeping them on a leash, and Chisato suggested they wash up since it was almost dinner time. Nana informed Izuku that she would be going to UA with him to help save Tenko from Garaki. Izuku acknowledged his grandmother's determination, and Nana cracked her knuckles, playfully suggesting they give Garaki and All Might a good lesson. Izuku asked if he could record it for HeroTube, and Nana agreed, much to his delight. The scene shifted to Izumi, Katsumi, and Shoka, who were outside the auditorium, upset about Izuku's thoughts of proposing to Stella. Their mothers were nearby, and Masaru expressed his happiness about Izuku considering marriage, hoping Stella would make him happy. All Might, however, voiced his doubts, prompting a staff member to tell him to be quiet. Nizu intervened, warning All Might not to do anything foolish, or he would face consequences. Midnight was called next, and she excitedly announced she had found a duet song by Adrien and Marinette. As she played the song, the scene showed Adrien and Marinette on a rooftop with Izuku and Stella sitting nearby. Adrien reassured Marinette that he didn't care about his grandparents' disapproval, declaring his love for her, while Marinette expressed her hurt from their treatment. The music began, and the lyrics conveyed their struggles and hopes for freedom from their pasts. Izuku then excused himself, prompting Adrien to ask where he was going. Mina and Kyoka speculated about the situation, revealing that Adrien's grandparents wanted him to marry someone else, but he refused, risking his inheritance. Nizu confirmed that Adrien had managed to persuade them, much to the girls' relief. Ochako remarked on how cute Adrien and Marinette looked together, and Nizu noted Marinette's talent in desserts, thanks to her father being a pastry chef. Present Mike took his turn next, finding a lively song called Boys Are Back. The scene shifted to Izuku and Adrien riding their bikes, taking off their helmets, and enjoying a refreshing drink. The upbeat music played as they showcased their camaraderie, performing tricks on their bikes and celebrating their friendship. As they landed from a jump, they smiled at each other and fist-bumped, feeling the thrill of their adventure together. Shoto and Tuya observed, with Shoto noting that everything was fine, while Tuya questioned him. Natsuo pointed out that it was Shoto's fault that Midoriya saw Adrien as a father figure, as Adrien had shown him what it meant to be a true brother. Shoka insisted that they should stop discussing it, but Shoto agreed with Natsuo, acknowledging that Adrien was more of a brother to Midoriya than he had been. Shoka reluctantly accepted this and they moved on. Nizu suggested they continue and picked a name from the list. Hitoshi Shinsho was next. He rummaged through the suitcases to find a song he liked. After a moment, he declared his choice, a song titled Beauty and the Beast, which featured Midoriya and his girlfriend. The girls encouraged him to play it. As Hitoshi played the song, they watched Izuku in a tuxedo and Stella in an appealing red dress. The two walked toward each other, bowed, and linked hands to begin their dance. The music filled the room, and they danced gracefully together, surrounded by other couples who joined in, moving in perfect harmony. Eri admired Stella's dress, expressing her longing to try it on. Nizu suggested they should have a ballroom dance, but Aizawa quickly interjected, asking them not to. Nizu, undeterred, instructed the staff to bring a date, and Aizawa muttered in frustration. Nizu then picked another name, and Mandalay stepped forward. She excitedly announced that she had found a song that Midoriya and his dad used to sing, although it was in another language. The group expressed surprise, and Nizu examined the song's title, Sobredosis. Mandalay played the song, showcasing Hisashi and Izuku at an open mic, both smiling at each other. As the music played, the 𝗕𝗏 blushed at Izuku's charming words, which resonated with them. The upbeat rhythm filled the space, and the atmosphere became lively. Hisashi thanked everyone for their support, and Izuku wished everyone a good day. Nizu couldn't help but laugh, while Kota looked confused, and Momo blushed at the attention. Kyoka seemed to know something, and Momo confirmed it, still flustered. As the day concluded, Nizu announced that they were done for the day and instructed everyone to return the next day. They all agreed and left, with Momo translating the lyrics for the girls, leading to a night filled with excitement and dreams. The next chapter began with Hina's birthday celebration. Izuku and Hisashi wore anti-quirk bracelets as a precaution. Hisashi playfully warned the kids to stay away from his little princess, while Chisato reminded him to behave. Izuku affectionately referred to Hina as his cute little sister, and Stella added her own reminders to keep things in check. As the party approached, Izuku reassured everyone that Hina's present would arrive in time. Stella noted that the festivities would begin soon, and Hisashi expressed his eagerness, only to be reminded by Chisato that the gifts were secured. They all agreed that anyone who broke Hina's heart would face serious consequences. As the students arrived, Izuku and Hisashi greeted the kids, reminding themselves to keep calm. Hina enjoyed playing games with her friends, and the delicious food was a hit among the children. Izuku's friends joined the celebration, and Adrian greeted Hina warmly, though he cast a wary glance at the boys. Izuku urged Adrian to relax, emphasizing that it was just a birthday party. The group welcomed Marin, Mio, Mavis, Wednesday, Ain, and Marinette, who were excited to be there. Hina beamed with joy as they complimented her appealing yellow dress. As it was time for the birthday cake, everyone gathered around Hina to sing her a birthday song. Izuku stood beside her, and after she blew out the candles, everyone applauded. Hina then asked Izuku to sing a song, and he happily agreed, ready to make her birthday even more special. This song is called Eye to Eye. The music starts, and the atmosphere is filled with excitement. Izuku feels a sense of connection and understanding with the crowd as he performs. He believes they can set the world in motion by reaching out to one another. He reflects on the idea that together is where they both belong, and if they listen to each other's hearts, they'll find they're never too far apart. Love is the reason they are seeing things eye to eye for the first time. As the performance continues, he expresses that if any obstacles arise, love will guide them through. There's no need to rush or worry because he will always be there for them. The crowd cheers for Izuku, asking for another song. He agrees and thinks of the perfect one. The music starts again, and he feels an electric energy inside him. It flows through his city and home, lifting him higher as he finds his rhythm. He feels a warmth in his body and can't take his eyes off the moment. Under the lights, everything feels right, and he imagines the joy of dancing together. The music encourages everyone to let loose and enjoy the moment, as nobody is leaving anytime soon. After the performance, Hina hugs Izuku, excited for the presents. Her parents have given her a new bedroom, and she receives appealing dresses, nail polish, hair accessories, and clothes. Kotaro hands her a gift, and she thanks him. Izuku tells Hina to close her eyes, and when she opens them, she gasps at the sight of a cat. He wishes her a happy birthday, and she calls him the best brother in the world. In his mind, Izuku hears a teasing remark from Izumi about being a terrible brother, but he brushes it off. Hina names the cat Fluffykin, and they celebrate the rest of the day. As the kids fall asleep, Hina hugs Fluffykin in her new bed, and Izuku wishes her good night. The next chapter begins on a Wednesday in the auditorium, where the class is gathered again. Izumi and her friends sit quietly next to their mothers. Nizu announces that Midoriya will be returning soon and that they can continue listening to his music. The class responds enthusiastically. Aizawa is asked to choose the next performer, and he picks Mizo Shoji. Mizo searches through the suitcase for a good song and finds one he likes called The Nights. As he plays it, the scene shifts to Izuku and Hisashi on a rock, gazing at the night sky. Hisashi reminds Izuku to make each day memorable, as life is unpredictable. Izuku promises to do just that. Once upon a younger year, when all shadows disappeared, the animals inside came out to play. They faced their fears and learned lessons through tears, making memories they knew would never fade. One day, a father told his son not to let life slip away. He took him in his arms and shared wisdom about growing older, reminding him that his wild heart would always remember the younger days. The father urged him to live a life he would remember, emphasizing that these are the nights that never die. Hisashi encouraged everyone to live each day by doing what they wanted. Aizawa agreed, acknowledging the wisdom in Midoriya's father's words. Masaru confirmed that he was indeed a great dad. Aizawa picked a name, Kuji Koda, who approached the suitcase to find a good song. After searching, he handed it to Kyoka, who read the title, The Phoenix, which spoke of those seeking a second chance in life. As she played the song, they saw Izuku on stage during a talent show, smiling as he began to play the guitar. The music started, and the crowd cheered as Izuku performed. He was like a jack-o'-lantern in July, setting fire to the sky, embodying the rising tide of energy. The atmosphere was electric, and the audience felt the urgency of time slipping away. Izuku sang about change and resilience, expressing a longing to rise like a phoenix from the ashes of past struggles. The crowd cheered louder, appreciating his talent and passion. Kirishima remarked on how manly Izuku was, while 𝗧𝗵𝗧 agreed. Kyoka noted his impressive vocal skills, and Eri proudly declared that her daddy was the best. Mirio nodded in agreement. Aizawa then picked another name, Nito Monoma. The classmates of 1B hoped he would choose a good song. Nito approached the suitcase and pulled out a song titled Runnin'. As the music began, Izuku was depicted standing on top of a tree, gazing at the night sky and witnessing a shooting star. He began to sing about the struggles of life, the feeling of being trapped in a 𝗬𝗍𝗁, and the determination to break free. His heart raced as he expressed the urgency of his journey, emphasizing the importance of living fully and not letting opportunities pass by. The crowd was captivated by his performance, feeling the weight of his words and the sincerity behind them. Izuku's resolve to keep moving forward resonated with everyone, inspiring them to support one another in their quests to become heroes. Mirko acknowledged his ability to motivate others, while Ragdoll agreed. Tuya noted that Izuku had a strong support system, which Inko reflected on, realizing she had never provided that kind of support before. Aizawa signaled to continue, and everyone responded with enthusiasm, ready for the next performance. Ragdoll was excited for her turn and began searching through the suitcase for a good song. After a moment, she found one she liked and announced her choice, saying it was called Immortals. As the music started, they saw Izuku back in his recording studio, preparing to perform. The song played, and the lyrics conveyed a sense of resilience and determination, emphasizing themes of immortality and the strength of belief. As the music filled the room, Adrian commented that the song was for Izuku's grandmother, to which Izuku replied affirmatively. Izumi chimed in, noting that she didn't have a grandmother, while Nizu mentioned the loss of family members in a somber tone. Aizawa then suggested they take a break after one more song. Snipe took his turn next, searching through the suitcase until he found a song titled History Maker. As he played the track, Izuku donned ice skates and began to glide across the floor, singing with enthusiasm. The lyrics inspired a sense of hope and ambition, encouraging listeners to believe in themselves and their ability to make history. Stella praised Izuku's performance, and Hina expressed her longing to learn from him. The group shared light-hearted comments about Hina's cuteness and Izuku's protective nature over her. Aizawa then announced it was time for a break. As everyone returned to the auditorium, they were eager to hear more songs from Izuku, with some curious about whether he had created romantic or rap songs. Izumi was still in disbelief about Izuku's plans to propose to his girlfriend. Nizu decided to switch things up and let Midnight pick the next name. Midnight selected Mirio Togata, who was eager to see what Izuku had prepared. He rummaged through the suitcase and picked a song titled, Take You Down. Eri and Koda put on noise-canceling headphones as Mirio played the track. The scene shifted to Izuku on stage, surrounded by Stella and other girls. As he performed, the atmosphere became charged with excitement. The song's lyrics hinted at a playful and flirtatious vibe, suggesting a connection between the performer and his audience. As the music ended, Stella playfully admonished Izuku not to show off, while Koda checked in on Mandalay, who seemed a bit flustered. Meanwhile, Tuya took pictures of Fuyumi, teasing her in a light-hearted manner. Nizu decided to give the kids a little more time with the headphones, and everyone agreed. Midnight picked a name, and 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗃 stepped forward. It was his turn, and DS suggested they choose something daring. They approached the suitcase, searching for a suitable song. The group braced themselves, recalling how the last selection had nearly overwhelmed them. 𝗃𝗁𝗃 declared their choice, announcing it was called Do What We Do. As the music began, they saw Izuku in the dorms, sitting in front of his computer, starting to move to the melody. He was ready to join in. The upbeat rhythm filled the room, and the atmosphere shifted as everyone felt the energy of the song. Izuku mused about how Stella would react if she heard this song, expressing how much he missed her. Izumi noticed his longing and considered that perhaps he might even leave Japan, feeling that staying only brought him pain. Shoka asked Izumi if he was okay, while Katsumi suggested taking a break. Izumi insisted he was fine and wanted to continue. Shoka wondered what was troubling the group, sensing their discomfort. Midnight decided to choose another person and selected 𝗵𝗵𝗃. He approached the suitcase, scanning the options carefully to avoid anything inappropriate. 𝗵𝗵𝗃 chose a song titled, "Start a Fire." As the music played, they watched Izuku alongside Adrian, who was on drums while 𝗵𝗵𝗃 took the guitar. He began to sing, and the energy in the room intensified. The lyrics spoke of dreams and desires, inviting everyone to lose themselves in the rhythm and feel the beat resonate within them. Mina commented on how 𝗵𝗵𝗃 seemed to connect effortlessly with the music, unlike some others in the group. Hitoshi noted that 𝗵𝗵𝗃 was still dealing with past traumas. Nizu agreed, while 𝗘𝗁𝗁 reminded everyone that they were not like those who had hurt him. Momo pointed out the significant impact those past experiences had on him. Nizu recalled how only Eri and Kot had been able to hold Izuku's hand, highlighting the trust he had in them. Izuku shared a memory from when he was 12, revealing a close call with a villain that his father had intervened in. The police had seen his past memories and let him go, but the scars remained. Mina wondered if the hugs they shared meant he trusted them, and Denki pointed out that Izuku smiled, something he didn't do often with many people. Midnight encouraged the group to continue, and she selected 𝗂𝗧𝗵𝗲 next. Kozai approached the suitcase, eager to find a song he liked. He finally chose one titled, "Want to Want Me." As the music began, they saw Izuku dressed in a tuxedo in an abandoned movie theater, holding a microphone, ready to perform. Izuku and Stella were ready as the music began to play. The atmosphere was charged with excitement. It was too hot to sleep, and the sheets were scattered on the floor. Izuku felt restless, knowing he had to leave soon. He quickly gathered his things and hopped into the back of a cab, eager to reach his destination. As he arrived, he felt a rush of anticipation. The thought of Stella filled his mind, and he couldn't help but smile. She was the one he wanted, and he would do anything to be close to her. Stella approached Izuku and he lifted her gently, bringing her into their bedroom. The moment was filled with warmth and affection. They shared a connection that was undeniable, and just thinking about her made him feel exhilarated. As the music played on, they enjoyed the moment together. Midnight observed them and remarked on how lucky Stella was to have Izuku all to herself. The rest of the group, feeling a bit out of place, excused themselves and left in a hurry, leaving behind a hint of curiosity. The next day, Izuku woke up to find Kotaro sleeping peacefully beside him. He smiled and patted his son's head, feeling a surge of love. He looked over to see Stella pretending to sleep, and he couldn't help but feel grateful for their little family. Izuku playfully encouraged Kotaro to be like him, the 𝗕𝗏𝗄 king, and together they headed downstairs for breakfast. As Izuku prepared coffee and breakfast for Stella, he received a text from Adrian about a dinner reservation at the Eiffel Tower. Excitedly, he invited Adrian and Marinette to join them at the pool later. Stella soon joined them, and as they shared breakfast, Izuku made airplane noises to entertain Kotaro. After breakfast, they changed into their swimming attire, ready for a fun day outside. Izuku and Kotaro headed to the backyard, where they prepared for their guests. When Adrian and Marinette arrived, Izuku couldn't help but admire Adrian's new merchandise. The girls joined in, and the atmosphere was lively. They all agreed to enjoy the day together, and the girls decided to sunbathe while Izuku and Adrian taught Kotaro how to swim. As they spent time together, Izuku confided in Adrian about needing to talk to Uncle Sirius and asked for a favor regarding Kotaro. Adrian readily agreed, showing his support for his friend. Meanwhile, the girls speculated about Izuku and Adrian's secretive behavior. They sensed something serious was brewing, and Stella reassured them that they would have their chance to confront those who had wronged them. Izuku created a small surfboard for Kotaro, teaching him how to ride the waves. The day was filled with laughter and joy, and as the music played, they all felt the warmth of friendship and family surrounding them. Izuku was excited as he prepared for the event, eager to share more songs with his classmates. The auditorium buzzed with anticipation, and Eri sat quietly, lost in thought. Nijire noticed her and asked what was on her mind. Eri expressed her curiosity about her parents and whether they might give her a little sister to play with. This thought surprised the class, and Inko imagined Izuku handing Chisato their child, feeling a wave of emotion. 𝗔𝗂 called for the next participant, and 𝗵𝗃 hesitated, wanting to skip her turn. However, 𝗔𝗂 insisted she go ahead. 𝗵𝗃 picked a name, and 𝗵𝗃 stepped forward. She approached a suitcase, searching for something special, and soon discovered a box filled with CDs. Blushing, she announced that her song was titled, "Appealing to Me." Mina encouraged her to play it, and as the music started, the scene shifted to Izuku in his dorm, chatting with Adrian. They discussed a recent conversation where someone had expressed a willingness to share Izuku, leaving him puzzled. Adrian agreed with Izuku's thoughts, and they wrapped up their discussion. As Momo's song played, the lyrics painted a picture of resilience and beauty, capturing the struggles faced by someone who fought against their inner demons. The melody resonated with everyone in the auditorium, evoking a sense of empathy and admiration. Izuku reflected on Momo's strength, recognizing her potential and the power she held. The group looked at her in awe, realizing just how capable she was. 𝗔𝗂 asked Momo if she could truly create powerful inventions, to which she responded with uncertainty, prompting a collective no from the group. Eri, with sparkling eyes, requested a plushie of her father, and Momo happily obliged, crafting one with care. Eri hugged the plushie tightly, eager to see her dad. Mina suggested they should protect Momo, and Kyoka agreed, appreciating her talent. 𝗵𝗃 then called for the next participant, and Eri excitedly announced her turn, ready to share her choice of song. Eri played a song to see Izuku in his room, projecting memories of him, Eri, and 𝗕𝗫𝗓 in the park. Izuku was pushing Eri on the swing while 𝗕𝗫𝗓 captured the moment with her camera. As the music started, it filled the room with warmth and nostalgia. The lyrics spoke of the deep connection and love that one person felt for another, emphasizing how essential they were in their life. The chorus expressed that this person was everything needed, like an angel coming to save them. 𝗕𝗫𝗓 blushed at the compliments directed her way, while Mirio and Tamaki exchanged knowing smirks, ready to tease her. Eri pondered about her own family, wondering if Mama Stella shared daddy with all the girls who liked him, imagining having many mothers and siblings to play with. 𝗵𝗃 then picked a name from the list, calling out Koda's turn. He chose the third song, which was also for Izuku. Koda announced the title, "Lost Without You," and the music began to play, showcasing Izuku with his guitar in his room. The song expressed feelings of longing and love, highlighting how lost one could feel without the other. It conveyed the joy of being together and the warmth of shared moments, making it clear how much the singer cherished their partner. Izuku noted that Koda seemed eager for him to be with his aunt, admitting to himself that she was quite attractive. The others chimed in, teasing him about the situation. Next, 𝗵𝗃 picked Shouka Todoroki's name. Shouka handed a CD to her mother, unable to speak. Rei recognized it was for Fuyumi, who blushed at the attention. Natsuo and Tuya teased about the situation, prompting Rei to reveal the song title, Thinking Out Loud. As the music played, Izuku was seen in front of a microphone, singing about enduring love that transcends time and age. The lyrics reflected on the beauty of love, the comfort of being together, and the hope that it would last forever. Izuku confessed to Fuyumi that he had a crush on her since childhood, still holding those feelings close to his heart. Fuyumi felt a deep blush spread across her cheeks, realizing that she didn't see Izuku as a little brother but as a man. She was unaware of Shouka, who had tears in her eyes, whispering to herself that it was her fault. Izumi called out to Shouka, but 𝗵𝗃 suggested they do 2 more songs before taking a break. Everyone agreed, and 𝗵𝗃 picked a name from the list, Yui Kodai. Yui chose a song dedicated to Itsuka, who asked for the name of the song. Yui replied that it was Appealing Soul. As the music began, they all turned to see Izuku on the rooftop of the dorms, holding his electric guitar and starting to sing. The lyrics echoed through the air, expressing a longing for an appealing soul, someone special who would always be faithful. Izuku reflected on how special she truly was, noting that Itsuka had an appealing soul, even if she didn't see it herself. Itsuka smiled and blushed, just as her classmates were about to tease her when 𝗵𝗃 called out again. 𝗵𝗃 announced that it was Tetsu's turn. He picked a disc from the case with a smile and declared that the next song was for Setsuna. When she asked for the name, he told her it was Troublemaker. As the music played, Izuku entered his dorm room, feeling the energy of the song resonate with him. The lyrics described a troublemaker who captivated attention and stirred emotions, creating a mix of excitement and chaos. Izuku mused that she truly was a troublemaker, and Setsuna, hearing this, decided that if he wanted a troublemaker, she would gladly play that role. Itsuka noted that they were thinking along the same lines. Inko then suggested they take a break, and everyone agreed. The group of friends began to discuss the songs they had just heard, while Shoka preferred to keep to herself. Shoto felt restless, wanting to do something but unsure of what that might be. The chapter concluded, setting the stage for the next one, where more songs and emotions awaited.